Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Hot Mic Show. I'm Bill Whittle, and we're here with our friend and friend of freedom and friend of the NRA, Antonia Okafor, talking about gun control for infants. No, not the little baby kind. Those are actually fairly easy to protect against unauthorized firearm use. We're talking about the grown infants on the left, like the professor who wore body armor and a ballistic helmet to class because they passed the Texas concealed carry permit law on campus, so now legal citizens can legally carry a gun to prevent illegal people from doing bad things. Antonio, we were talking just before the break that I think the emotional driver for this kind of irrational, hysterical is what you called it, emotional response to this issue is twofold. I think that the people who are in politics, I think the people like Hillary Clinton and Bloomberg and all the rest, I think they fully understand what they're doing. I think they fully understand that the population owning guns is the main barrier to them just taking whatever power they want. So I think they're fully aware of it. And I think they use the gun control issue because if they can make it about the gun, then we're on the defensive. But as I said earlier, guns used to be everywhere. It's not the guns. The murders that happen in this country are places like Chicago, where it's not the guns that are killing people, it's democratic policies that are killing people.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. So I was in Chicago for a week. I did a documentary with TRT World where we talked about the gun debate in America, and talking to these community leaders and these activists. Really, it's funny too because a lot of the producers they chose specifically certain community activists thinking that they would be anti-gun. And then the more that you talk to them, you realize that, oh no, I believe in my right to bear arms as well, because they realize that it's a practical use, especially in Chicago. They know they're law-abiding citizens and they want to protect themselves. The ones that they have an issue with are these criminals who are on the street when it comes with drug trafficking or with guns in general. They're the ones that are making Chicago what it is. And so I think a lot of people there really understand what that issue is, and it has nothing to do with the gun. It's the person behind that gun. It's the person behind the tool that's really the issue. It's the economic issues. It's the poverty rates that I saw there. It's a spiritual issue, to be honest. I'm a woman of faith, and I
Mm-hmm.
definitely felt a spiritual issue there. And so it really does them a disservice for people to continue to make it about guns because it's not about the people, which it really should be.
Right. I agree. And I think that that's the motivation for politicians is to get their eyes off of the policies and put their eyes on this totem. You throw it into the volcano and all this murder disappears. But I think that people like Professor Smith and other liberals or progressives or people who have this irrational emotional response to guns, I think it's driven by something much more simple than this. I think that they are I think that they are incapable psychologically, not only physically and psychologically incapable of defending themselves, I think they're psychologically incapable of accepting the adult fact that they may have to. I think they live in a world where wishful thinking, like free health care and war is all a big misunderstanding, is their political philosophy. And I think they simply cannot accept the reality that there are predators that live out there in the human population. Forget about how you're going to defend yourself against them. I just don't think they can face that fact.
Well, and also the scary thing is that these are the leaders of the school and these students who are looking up to these people as role models, basically as authority figures. And here this guy basically is making a joke of the law. I mean, I don't see what point you're really making by bringing body armor other than to bring attention to yourself. And also to embarrass the ones who are concealed carry holders in the classroom. Really, I mean, this is what we're going to see in the future is we're seeing, with Berkeley and on all these schools where these students are, yeah, unfortunately, even especially on that side, infants. They're treating them like infants when they are adults, 18 and up. They are adults, period. And so I'm kind of concerned that when they leave when they leave school and they go into the workforce and they become, say, the next professors, that they're going to do the same thing. And it's going to be a perpetual cycle. I mean, I think it's kind of funny actually with campus carry. A lot of professors are upset that now we have a smaller pool of talent. Well, for me, I don't really think it's a smaller pool of talent. I just think it's more independent thinking professors. You're going to be taking the place of these radical left professors who just can't handle campus carry. So you can definitely leave all you want. We'll just take more common sense people and replace them with that. So I just think it's going to be a weeding out of the small minded, of the weak minded, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're right about that too. Antonia Okafor, ladies and gentlemen, a great friend of NRATV, great friend of the NRA, great friend of freedom. Thanks so much for being with us today, Antonia.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
Here it is in a nutshell, folks. I'll tell you a real quick little story. I was watching these nature documentaries, and you may have seen them, where there are sea lions that are driven up on the beach by orcas, by killer whales. The orcas will come right up halfway out of the water onto the sand because it traps the sea lions, and they snap and bite the sea lions and kill them. And I was watching one of these once, and I saw this gigantic, enormous killer whale just pedal up onto the beach, and the sea lion escaped by the skin of its teeth. And as the whale was beached there, the sea lion turned around and bit it on the nose. It bit the killer whale on the nose. And I remember thinking, is there a person alive who thinks that that animal doesn't have a right to do that? Is there a person alive that thinks that that animal doesn't have a right to try to defend itself? So the only people who are not allowed to defend themselves, the only species on the planet, including bacteria, that can't defend themselves, are human beings? I find that a little odd. Look, folks, there are predators and there are prey. The left thinks that if you cut all of the horns off of an antelope, you will have fewer lions. If you remove the defenses of legal people, you'll get rid of the predators. This is a picture of what the world looks like without being able to defend yourself. And this is a picture of what the world looks like. If we can go to the next one. There it is. This is what the world looks like when you are allowed to defend yourself. Pretty simple, really. I value humans more highly than I value bacteria, and so I'm kind of in favor of being able to defend yourself. We'll be back tomorrow with some new outrage, I'm sure. Bill Whittle, this is the Hot Mic Show right here on NRATV.